You're listening to Pink Lady Presents, only on LA Talk Radio.
I'm gonna live till I die. I'm gonna laugh instead of cry. I'm gonna take the town and turn it upside down. I'm gonna live until I die.
Hi, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to Pink Lady Presents It Ain't Over Till You Say It's Over. I want to thank everyone out there for watching our shows each week of lives well lived. And no matter the age, you can live a great life or living a great life. We would like to know about you. So please email pinklady7@earthlink.net. and send in a name of a person that you believe is living a life well lived or has lived a life well lived. We would appreciate that and would love to have them as our guests.
And if they didn't have a pencil, if you go on to the exact same place how you found this program, you will see a bio of Pink Lady and an email address. Please use that to reach her, and we will get back to you. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Oh, I am excited today. Sitting beside me is a gentleman, Mike Chamberlin. Hi, Mike.
Jackie, it's so good to see you. You know what I want to do? I want to switch with you one week, and I want to sit there and you here, and I want to interview you.
Wow. I don't know whether our audience is old enough for that,
they
though.
would love it. They'd love it.
Anyway, it's so nice to meet someone that you've talked to on the phone like I have with you and email back and forth. Mike, and I want to thank you beforehand. Thank you for your service. Vietnam War veteran, and I need you to tell me this because I am like so proud, a Bronze Star recipient. How did that happen?
Oh, it's kind of a long story, but I was in the Mekong Delta in Vietnam. And it was, I'm no different than anybody else, Jackie. I was just in a war situation, that happened to be under fire. And I don't even really I feel awkward even talking about it. But I was proud to serve my country.
Thank you.
And it was an honor, and I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Thank you. Just look at him and talk to him is a pleasure. So now, I know that you love the 40s.
I do. I was born in the wrong time.
But why? Why?
Well, it was such. First of all, World War II. The United States was really united.
Yes.
Never like I've seen before. It was a very romantic time. All these. Let me put it this way: there are thousands of love songs came out of World War II.
Yes.
But Chaplain, you'll appreciate this. Not one love song came out of Vietnam or Korea. Not one. There might have been one called Soldier Boy, and that was even iffy there. Right. But thousands in World War II and not one from Vietnam or Korea. How could times have changed that much in that short of time?
Interesting.
Well, we're going to hear in a moment how they could change.
Well, we were lucky to have these songs in our lives.
Right.
So,
Well, you know what? Why don't we start off the program with one of them?
Well, let's do that.
Okay.
This is one of my favorite songs from World War II. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep smiling through, just like you always do, till the blue sky drives the dark cloud far away. And will you please say hello to the folks that I know? Tell them I won't be long. They'll be happy to know, as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, I know we'll meet again some sunny day. This song was actually a very big hit for an English singer named Vera Lynn.
Oh, yeah.
She ran off a series of #1 hits, and she recorded this song at Grand Central Station in New York City as the American troops were getting on trains to go off to fight the war in Europe and the South Pacific. And right in the middle of the song, all these male voices start to sing, and it was the soldiers. And every time I listen to this recording, and I listen to it often,
Right.
I hear those male voices coming in, and it just gives me goosebumps. But it went on to become the battle cry of World War II, if for nothing else, the lyrics alone. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day.
Yes.
This,
yes.
this would seem a very appropriate time for a commercial.
Oh, okay.
Not a commercial from a sponsor or someone who's selling something, but a commercial for our Los Angeles National Cemetery. Because on Veterans Day, which is always on 11/11, we're going to have a program at the LA National Cemetery starting at 10 o'clock. We will end the program at 11/11 with all the churches ringing their church bells as they
Isn't it
do in
100
Europe.
years?
No, that's another story.
that's
I'm
another
getting there. You're always one ahead.
Oh, he's one ahead, okay.
So the churches will ring their bells. There'll be people sounding the shofar in front of synagogues. There'll be a lot of noise. As soon as that ends, the 22 magnificent voices of the Randy Van Horn singers will do a medley of World War I songs
that's
to
right.
honor the 100th anniversary of the
There
end
you
of World War I.
Wow.
I
And
knew there was
following
100
that,
somewhere there.
and following that, for the first time ever, our 33rd District Congressman will do a town hall. So it's going to be honoring veterans, those who are living, active duty, those who have passed. We have 88,800 interred in Los Angeles
Oh
National
my gosh,
Cemetery.
I have goosebumps just hearing you
and-
talk about that,
and,
Chaplain.
and
Wow.
hearing your devotion to the music and the period, and as a fellow Vietnam
Right.
vet, although I was stationed in Europe, I didn't get shot at. We appreciate your being here.
Oh, it's my honor, and I can't sing these songs enough. And after I do my concerts, I sing to a lot of World War II
Right.
veterans. They come up, and every one of them wants to tell me their story,
Oh.
and I listen intently to
Well,
every story.
like, do you have a story?
Well,
that
I was
you tell me
singing one
about
time.
that?
A gentleman comes up after my concert. I'm packing up, and he lifts up his shirt. He's got 2 holes in his chest,
Oh, my
and he
Lord.
says. He says, these are bullet holes. He says, I was on the Normandy landing and I got hit twice and I was passed out and bleeding profusely, I'm
Right.
told. And the medics came and thought he was dead because he was unconscious and bleeding. They ripped his dog tags off and went on to somebody else yelling
Oh,
for
my
help.
Lord.
Well, somehow he comes to and makes his way back to some kind of a base somehow, some way. And he's in the hospital. And he says, is there a chance that I could call my mom and dad? You know,
Right.
And they said, sure. Well, he didn't know that they had notified his parents by telegram that he had been killed in action.
Oh,
He didn't know this.
no.
So he makes the telephone call, and his mom answers, and she goes, is this some kind of a bad joke? He goes,
Yes.
no, Mom, it's me. And she goes, we have a telegram saying you're dead. She goes, well, it's wrong. I'm alive. Can you imagine that
wow.
phone
Yes.
call?
No.
From the depth of losing a son to the height of hearing his voice on the phone.
Fortunately,
Wow.
it didn't go the other way.
I know.
Very
I
fortunately,
know, but I
yeah.
mean, these stories from these World War II veterans just,
Yes.
I should write a book.
Yes,
Yes,
you should
you
write
really
a book.
should.
So-
And speaking
so
of
amazing.
writing and doing things, Mike has a CD here called
Look,
Love Songs.
my
There
Let me
it is.
take that over here.
Of,
Let me take that.
want to take
Yeah,
that? There
yeah.
you
There
go.
we go.
Love Songs of World War II. And how does one get this?
Well, they can. There's a number of ways. I have a website called singingtvguy.com. SINGING.
I want to say that again very slowly.
Singingtvguy.com. I used to be a television news anchor, so that's where the Singing TV Guy comes in.
Okay.
And it's available. It's available there, and I've had so much fun with. I went into the recording studio on the 75th anniversary of Pearl Harbor to record
Oh,
this,
wow.
and I
Okay.
dedicated the CD to that Vera Lynn that I was telling you
Oh,
about.
I
So.
love it.
And the cover of your CD, there is a replica of this statue aboard the battleship Iowa.
There is. Have you
There
seen the
is.
one in San
Yeah.
Diego?
Actually, yes, I have, but Pink has a picture standing in front of it. And when we honor the people from the battleship Iowa, That's one of the
well,
things.
you know,
show.
Pastor, hold on for a second. The nurse in that photograph passed away last year. She was like 93, and that's in
Wow.
Times Square. You can see Middle Manhattan. You can see Times Square in the background. You know how they identified her decades ago?
No.
She's wearing white nylons with a seam running down the back.
Oh,
and only
you're
a certain
right.
a certain nursing corps in New York City were wearing those that day, and they found her years ago. The sailor, they don't know because he's so involved in the kiss, you can't see his face. You can't see any rankings, and then 1,000 guys came forward and said it was them.
Oh,
So
well,
anyway,
yeah. Well, you know what? We're ready for another song.
Well, here's, not all the love songs of World War II were sad and sorrowful. Most of them were. There was a lot of sorrow and sadness. But every now and then I had the feeling they just needed to cut loose. Even if you had to sing a polka, for goodness sakes.
yeah.
All right. Yeah, you can help me sing it. Roll out the barrel. We'll have a barrel of fun. Roll out the barrel. We've got the blues on the run. Zing, boom, torero. Sing out a song of good cheer. Now's the time to roll the barrel for the gang's all here. Here's where you join in. Roll out the barrel. Good job. We'll have a barrel of fun. Roll out the barrel.
You can join us at home, too.
We've got the blues on the run. Zing, boom, torero. Sing out a song of good cheer. Now's the time to roll the barrel for the gangs all here. Do, 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 do.
You know, I have to tell you, that's why I really believe that I get up in the morning on a Sunday, and I get up really early to prepare for the show, and it is a joy. It is a joy because with people like you coming on and showing the world that no matter what age we are, we can be 40, 50, 100, doesn't matter. There's joy and keep on going.
You know, you're right, because I made my living for 45 years as a television news anchor.
Right.
I was in Los Angeles for 5 years, and I went to ESPN for 10, and last 20 in Phoenix. And I retired, and I've always had music in my life. And so I had a little chat with the Lord, and I said, Lord, you've given me music. Why don't you take me where you will? I thought, wouldn't it be fun to do 2 or 3 concerts a month in retirement? This month, I have 46 concerts.
Oh, I love
It's not
it.
uncommon
God
for me to do
bless
2
you.
and 3 a day sometimes.
God bless you.
But here's my thing. And so I had another chat with the Lord.
Right.
And I said, Lord, I didn't want 46. And so the Lord and I have come to a new agreement.
Okay.
I'm going to sing less and charge more. It's the American
Good.
way.
Yeah, you know
Supply
what? I
and
love
demand,
it.
yeah.
Okay, you said that you wanted to do something extra, and I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, go for
It's
it.
for you, and
Oh,
sometimes
for me?
it is
Okay.
for you. Sometimes I end my concerts with this. It's a song by ABBA, but I was thinking as I was coming up here that it's really a song that I want to dedicate to you for all you do, for all of us entertainers, and you do much more than you would ever admit to. But anyway, I haven't done it in a long time, so let's hope it works. Okay. I say thank you for the music, the songs we're singing. Thanks for all the joy they're bringing. Who could live without it? I ask in all honesty. What would life be without a song or a dance? What are we? I say thank you for the music and giving it to me. I say thank you for the music and giving it to me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Love you, Mike Chamberlin. Remember, love songs of World War II, and where can they get it again? Nice and slow.
They can contact me. They can buy the CD at singing, S-I-N-G-I-N-G, singingtvguy.com.
Thank you, Mike. God bless you, and thank you for being with us and making our day a beautiful one and a joyous one.
Thank you for all you do, Pink. Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much. You're delightful.
We will be right back.
Mike, thank you for your service.
It is not the breaths we take in life that count. It's what we do with the breaths we take. And I should know. 84 years young. Today on this stage, you will see talented performers all over the age of 60.
Life is a cabaret, old chum. It's only a cabaret, old chum.
Money! You got lots of friends hanging around that door.
I'm gonna live and live now, 'cause everything's coming up rosy.
Then your fingers touched my silent heart and taught it how to sing.
Dear, with your lips to mine, oh, rhapsody divine, sing with the strings of my heart.
To reach the unreachable stars.
We are back, and I am so excited because there are lots of women out there that have, in the past few years, have gotten themselves up and they've gotten into the world of business so different from when I was brought up. One of these empowered ladies, who is actually wearing an empowering color today, is ROBBIE Motter.
Hi, Pink Lady. I'm so happy to be here.
Well-
I just admire you. I love your book. Everybody that I've given your books to are just so excited that you're going to be our keynote speaker this year.
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about that. By the way, talking about my book, Get Up, Get Out, and Get a Life. We're now on Amazon. And what you do, though, because people said, how do I get it? I went on, I couldn't find it. Well, there's a little secret to it. When you get on, you do Get Up, Get Out, and Get a Life, Pink Lady. And then it brings you right to the site where you can get the book. And believe me when I tell you, it's a lot of fun. Am I right?
Oh, the book is so fun, and the whole book is so positive. That's what I love about it.
Thank you.
And what is that special chapter you like to mention?
Oh, senior sexuality.
Oh, yeah. Some of my friends got a big kick out of that one.
Especially when I tell them how to buy condoms. We will go into that on another show. Right now, I looked in what you were talking about and showing me all the different things that you do. And you are definitely an empowered woman. Here's what ROBBIE says. You have to make your own ladder and know where you want to go. I have things to do, places to go, people to meet, and individuals to help. ROBBIE, that's like, I love it. That's like a lot of things. And when I looked at what you were doing, I mean, you have 3 children. You have 4 grandchildren. Any great-grandchildren?
No great-grandchildren.
Okay. Hurry up, kids. You'll make her a great-grandma pretty
Yeah.
soon. Nothing is impossible in your life.
No.
And where did you start with all this? I mean,
Well, actually, I don't know if you know this, but I grew up in foster homes and children's homes.
No.
And I was on my own at age 14. And yet my last, and the reason I do so much for women is when I was in corporate America, women were not helping each other.
That's right.
So I said that I would spend the rest of my life helping women. And one of the things that I learned in my life, my mother didn't want me, but yet when she got sick, I quit my big job in Washington to come take care of her.
You knew who it was.
Oh, I knew who my mother was. I never knew
Wow.
my father, but I did know my mother. And but I came to help my stepfather take care of her. And the interesting thing is my kids said to me, "Mother, how could you do that? She never was a mother to you." And I said, "But then I would be no different than her." And I never
Right.
regretted it.
Right.
And, now I'm taking care of my stepfather's 98, and he's in a boarding care, and I see him twice a week. I never lived with him, but I see him, and I take desserts, and I just try to make his life as best as I can.
I love it. How did you get into the corporate world? I mean, where did you start?
Well, when I was 14, I'm originally from Hawaii.
Okay.
And I lied about my age, and I got a job with what makes Levi Strauss.
Oh.
And I did the job at payroll, where they paid you people different prices to doing
Right.
different things.
Right.
And then I would take a bus from where I was living and go 3 hours every morning to get to work, and I would go
In
early.
Hawaii, we're talking
No,
about.
this is in San
no.
Francisco,
Okay.
and then I went
Okay.
back to Hawaii after.
Okay.
And I would learn everything I could learn so that I could get a better job. And then I went back to Hawaii, and I ended up working at the Hawaiian Village Hotel with Henry J. Kaiser was was my first mentor.
Oh, wow.
He owned the hotel at the time, and that was back in the days when Liz Taylor and Mike Todd were doing Around the World in 80 Days, and he was building this Around the World dome. And I remember it seemed like I was very shy.
Really?
And I would always be in the elevator with him. And I remember his engineering saying, "But Mr. Kaiser, there's no way we can build a round dome." He says, "I pay you to make it done. Find a way to do it." And then he'd look at me and say, "Robbie, remember, nothing is impossible in this world."
Wow.
He also told me something that stayed with me my whole life, because I ended up being a single mom later in my life. He said, "Life is like a main highway.
Okay.
You never know. Sometimes things aren't going right in your life. So if you just think of that, you're on the side road. Remember, all side roads come back to the main highway." So I always
Wow.
remembered that. When things weren't going right, I said, "I'm on the dumb side road." It's like automatically. So I've been really blessed, and I've had very big jobs. I put my children through college with no student loans, and I never went to college. I always said I went to the University of the Streets.
That's right.
Yet I taught it.
smarts.
I taught
Street
in
smarts.
MBA programs and.
Well, let me ask you, from when you worked with Kaiser, I mean, he was phenomenal.
amazing.
He was amazing. What from there did you do? In other
Well,
words,
I was the first person doing payroll for the hotel. Then I became their first director of personnel.
oh, wow.
But when you grow up in Hawaii, you want to get off the rock.
I know.
So I ended up going to Washington, D.C., and I worked for the Mayflower Hotel, which was a Western hotel.
Oh, okay.
Then
And what did you do there? What was your
I was
position?
in charge of they called it personnel then.
Right.
It's HR now. But then I went to Houston, and I was working for an insurance company there that had been incorporated by the state of New York, and we got liquidated in the 70s when the gas, all that. They have to have a certain portfolio. So I got offered a job in New York. So I went to New York.
Wow.
And I worked in New York for I was the assistant deputy for the State Insurance Department Liquidation Bureau. So we liquidated other companies. But because I remember I had such a passion for helping women, because I remember when we were liquidated,
Right.
yet I was the only one they offered a job to New York. I always, whenever we liquidated a company, I would interview all the people, and I would send letters to all the insurance companies in New York, and I would always place everybody in a job.
Really?
Wasn't something I had to do, but I did it, and now they do it. But
Right.
I didn't have to do it at the time. And then I, got an accommodation from the governor, and then I got called to go to Washington.
And what was the call? I mean,
Come and work for GSA, and you'll be a GS 15. I said, "How can I be a 15? I've never been a 1, 2, or 3. They said, "Let us worry about that."
Don't ask, just
Don't
take
ask.
it.
I love it. Oh.
And I learned everything about contracting, but I really hated working for the government. I really did.
I'm curious.
Well,
why?
Because
Why?
it was back in the days where many women were brought into the government, and a lot of them didn't have the experience, but yet they were GS 12s and 13s. Some of them, they were called program analysts. They couldn't write.
Wow.
And I was always, the lucky thing is the budget director and assistant liked me, so I could always find money.
Okay.
But I wanted to leave the first year, and the commissioner said, "Stay 5, get your career status." The day I got 5, I was out of there. But it actually was the stepping stone for my next career, because I was in charge. I was in charge of contracting.
Oh,
I did all the
wow.
GSA schedules for the world, and so I learned a lot. So then what I did,
When you say GS,
the General
General
Services
Services
Administration.
okay, because I want to make
yeah.
sure that our
Yeah, and
audience knows
it's
what
the buying arm for the whole government, military and federal, everything.
Wow.
And so I dealt with all the regions, got to know a lot of people. So what I did, my heart is small business. So I went out and I helped, for the next 10 years, I helped small businesses get contracts, and I traveled the world to promote their products.
And who were you working for at that time doing that?
I was my own, I formed my own company.
Oh, and what was the company called?
It's called Contacts Unlimited. I still do it, but I don't want to travel like that. I would be on the road 340 days of the year, and I always had live-in help. So my kids were always taken care of, but I can't do that anymore.
How young were you when you became a single mom?
Well, my older children were 4 and 8. And then I remarried.
Oh, okay.
But then I divorced again because I married a womanizer, and I'm not going to live with a womanizer.
Good girl.
And so I've been single 30-some odd years.
Well.
And I'm never marrying. I love my life.
I think, well, first of all, someone like yourself, you had what I call, it's chutzpah. In other words, you had the get up and go that you knew that no matter what you do, you're going to succeed.
Right.
And you had that from the very beginning.
Yeah, and you know, the thing is, I was never discriminated against, and I never got paid less.
Really?
No, when I left Houston and New York offered me a job, I said, I didn't really want to go to New York, but my husband was doing development in the Poconos, and I thought, well, maybe. So I said, okay, first you got to fly me in and put me up at the Waldorf Astoria, and I'll see if I like New York.
No
so
way. Did you really? Good girl.
And then I decided, okay, that would work. And then I said, you have to, my kids, my middle daughter and my other daughter were still young. And I said, okay, then you have to pay for my move, but you also have to let me stop at a motel twice a day so they can swim. And I want a 50% salary increase. I want parking.
Wait, I'm curious. How young were you? I always say young, but how old were you when you did all that? Really?
Well, I was in my 30s, I think.
Really? I have to tell you, you were way beyond your years in demanding.
Audacity,
yeah,
right.
I know. Someone once told me, Pink, you're not aggressive, you're assertive. You were assertive.
Well, because,
and
know,
fabulous.
When you grew up like I did, you have to be. You have to be a survivor.
Yes, that's exactly what
And
it is.
I'm a survivor. I don't care. I mean, I had breast cancer. I had a breast removed. 2 days later, I ran a board meeting because that was my job to do. So I just tied the tubes and went.
I love
You make
that.
it sound so matter of fact.
Know.
Well, and you know what's interesting? When I had breast cancer, a lot of women wanted to give me advice. And what I've learned, I believe God, I never thought I would have cancer because my mother came from a very large family and they all died of strokes. So that's what I thought I had to worry about.
Okay.
So it must have been something from my father's gene. And
how young were you when you had breast
well, I'm
cancer?
5 years
Wow.
survival. But when I had it, I said, okay, a doctor cried with me. I have a fabulous doctor. And so I said, okay, let's just do whatever it is. Let's get it over. I don't have time to worry about it, and I have to get back to work. So, we removed, and it just happened that it was a board meeting, and I was the president of the Women's Club that year. So, and they said, what are you doing here? I said, I'm doing my job.
Robbie. I think that's why when I first met you, knew that I wanted to be your friend. Because to me, a woman who has survived, I call it in survival mode, a lot of different things. We all have in our own way.
Right.
But you, in your way, empower other people. And that's why I think women go to your classes and want to be in your group and everything. Tell me something. You also have a blog talk radio show.
Yes, and I took the summer off, but I'm bringing it back. But last year I had 70,000 people tune into my show.
Wow.
I've been doing. I did.
What's it called?
It's called Diva Strategies for Success, and I would bring women on the air from all over the country.
Really?
Now I'm getting ready to start Motter's Moments on TV. I'm setting up a TV studio in my house. My passion, because I'm very intuitive, I see talent in women that they don't see. And sometimes I push them. I'm like their cheerleader.
Right.
And then when they do it, they said, how did you know I could do that? I said, I knew.
You knew.
I knew.
You knew that they had that.
We hear that a great deal
Yeah.
from the entertainment world.
Yes.
Where people say, I had given up. It's been 20 years. I didn't have an agent. I never thought I would stand on a stage again. And then she talks them into it. All of a sudden, they're calling in, I just got a cruise. I just got a this.
Right.
Well, one of my dear friends is Florence LaRue, the lead singer with the 50s.
I love
Florence.
her.
In fact, she won't come to Menifee to sing for us, but I'm going to be doing a April conference in L.A. We're waiting to hear.
Okay.
One of my members is a retired Marine, and we're trying to get the VFW in Hollywood.
Oh, that would
So
be
you'll be
fabulous.
back again.
Yeah, I would love that.
But she said she would, and then I met another guy. See, I think showing up is like a treasure map.
Yes, it is.
You never know what treasure's going to be, and every time I show up, I meet a treasure. And maybe it isn't for me, but it's somebody just said to me, I need to meet somebody, and then I'm there and I meet that person.
And you are the extension of what I call a networking force of nature.
Yeah.
And networking, and people don't get it, but networking is the number one, I would say, embodiment of how people get together, how you get where you want to go. I mean, I'm sitting here with you now, and I'm like so proud because in October, I'm going to be one of your keynote speakers at your conference, and we're going to get back to that in a minute.
And I want to just jump in 1 second. If that meeting place doesn't materialize, let Pink know, because the American Legion Hollywood Post 43
Is my post.
just finishing up a renovation.
Right.
And
That may be the same one.
it's
it
on
is, it
Highland,
is,
right
it
near
is.
the
No, that's
Hollywood
American
Bowl.
Legion.
American Legion.
No,
Maybe
it's
that's
the
what
big
she's
one.
talking
It is.
about.
Yeah.
It's the biggest one.
Yeah,
And
it's the biggest
he's a
one. It has
member.
that's the one
There
we're
you
working
go.
on.
Good.
Okay.
And
We'll talk.
and we have enough members up here now because we have the West Hollywood, we have the Beverly Hills, we have the Marina Del Rey, San Juan Fernando, and Santa Barbara. So I think we could fill.
Definitely.
And so I'd like to do
Yeah,
both conferences.
our new commander is Michael Helmstead.
Yeah, that's the
And
same
I-
place.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've
Well,
been
you've been a
involved there
member
for
how
many
long?
years.
They-
10, 15.
Yeah, they just asked. I said a Saturday in April to get back, and they wanted a little more information. But right
Yeah.
now they're closed this
They're,
week.
they're still renovating.
Yeah, they're
getting
renovating.
the new power in
yeah.
this week.
Yeah, that's what she told me.
Yeah.
So we're waiting to hear. And I thought, okay, Pink, you're coming back.
There
I
you
love
go.
it. So you belong to, I mean, I was looking, I mean, there isn't an organization that you don't belong to. Where did you first start an organization that you wanted to, like, how do you know that you want to do something
You
in an
know,
organization?
I really didn't know that I think I always did that, but I have a very dear friend that lives in Long Beach now. We've been friends 50 years. She was
wow.
7 and I was 8. And we used to play intramural basketball in Hawaii.
Oh,
And
wow.
so one of my birthdays, I think my 70th, somebody was saying, you know, Robbie's such a great organizer. She says, she always organized. She said, when we lived in Hawaii, she said she was boy crazy, and I was always talking to the coach about when can we play another team. So I guess I've always had it. I just love bringing people together. In fact, the other event that I'm doing
Yes, that's
is-
September, am I right?
Yes, September 30th, and
Okay.
I got...
Tell people about that because I
It's
have
called
that on.
Extravaganza 4, and this I've done 3 others. And the idea being, it's an afternoon of entertainment and dessert, and the fundraising for that goes to the GFWC Menifee Sun City Women's Club and the Boys and Girls Club of Menifee. Now, in the past, I've never had youth entertainers, but this year I had the opportunity to judge the final entertainment awards for the Boys and Girls Club.
Oh.
And they had 6 finalists and 3 won. One of them is amazing. He's 6 years old and he does Michael Jackson.
Oh, I love that.
And his wish is to get on the Ellen Show. So I'm on a mission. But 2 of the people I know, Dr. Lee, who probably will be calling you. I think
Great.
you've met her.
Yes, yes.
Well, she used to be Michael Jackson's nutritionist.
Really?
And then there's another gal that lives in Hollywood that was in a movie with him. So I'm trying to get them to come
Yes.
down
Okay.
because they can maybe help open some doors. That is his dream. And I love
Oh.
helping people's dreams come
Right.
true. I don't know her. But I'm telling everybody I know, if you have any doors to get this, we're going to videotape him.
Good,
And I'm going to
good.
see that the video gets to her.
And where is this one on the 21st?
It's going to be in Sun City at Webb Hall.
Okay.
Yeah, we had
And I already have 107 tickets sold.
Yeah, that's great. We had a vocalist on a previous taping, Peter Parker, and his son at 6 had one of these most amazing voices, and we had a clip of him singing at the Crystal Cathedral.
Oh,
At
I used to
6.
book speakers into the Crystal
Really?
Cathedral.
Oh,
it
my
was just
Lord.
amazing. Yeah, Christopher Parker is his
Parker,
name.
6 years old.
Unreal.
Literally thousands of people at the end of his song
Yeah.
just rose up
Oh
in
yeah,
unison.
I love talent
Right.
like that. I love to
Yeah.
bring that talent
Right.
together.
The other thing I wanted to mention, you mentioned Menifee several times.
Yes.
We work very closely with Carol Roquemore at the Canine Support
That's
Team.
not- do you know that I'm the one that got the road paved?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Let me just
Thank
tell
you.
you.
Please
this
tell
is-
us.
This is a funny story.
Okay, but tell
Okay.
them what it is first.
Okay, Canine Support Team, I got involved with about 12 or 13 years ago. I'm a chaplain out at the women's prison in Corona. and the men's prison in Chino Hills. They breed dogs. Now they're Labradoodles and Golden Doodles. They socialize them for 18 months in a private home. Then they bring them to prison for 4 months, where specialists teach them equilibrium and vision and hearing and other types of service animal skills. And then they're placed with veterans. So I had known of them, but I hadn't worked closely. All of a sudden, I found that our worlds were coming together. So we're going to actually see Carol. I believe she's coming to the seminar you're doing in Menifee.
She is. She's a NAFI member as well.
Okay.
Oh, really?
But I have to tell you the funny story. And if you've been there when you saw the dirt road,
horrible.
have you seen the paved road?
No, I haven't been there
Oh,
since.
well, let me tell you. I went there one day, and that's why I say nothing is impossible.
Right.
So I went there because they had, Sally Wing had just become their marketing director.
Right, I love her.
And so Sally called me in to see if I had any ideas for her. So I show up, and I see people getting out of their car in wheelchairs on this dirt road. Plus that bad road you had to, we got paved too, and that was a county road.
Okay.
Wow.
So I said, this is terrible. Somebody could fall. She said, Robbie, we get grant money, but we cannot use it for doing a road.
Sure.
I said,
Really?
well, we're going to do something about that. So the next day I was at an event, and Supervisor Ashley was there, and I said, everybody in Riverside, who's the biggest paving company? And he told me, and he said, my birthday's tomorrow, why don't you come? They'll be there. I said, I can't, I got to run a meeting. So I thought it would drop, but he told them. Well, I learned there's a lot more. I learned about hot paving and coal paving.
And learned the whole thing.
Yeah, I learned if it's a coal paving, they can dump it on the side, but it's more than that. You got to have a contractor. Because at first they said, you got to put wood up. I said, that's easy. We'll just go to Home Depot and have them donate the wood. Well, it wasn't that easy. But the bottom, and then it was interesting. I tried to get my councilman interested, and at first he wasn't. So I nominated Carol for the Senator Morell's Women of Distinction Award.
Oh, great.
But I didn't know, and she won. I mean, I nominated her. I wasn't the one picking the...
Right.
But she won. So the city had to go sit at her table. So they learned, all of a sudden, they're interested. They didn't even know that place was there for 25 years.
Oh, my God.
So we ended up doing a big... So then my councilman calls me. He said, okay, we'll do something at Mott. You get all the entertainment. You do the tables. I'll do this and that. So we did, and we raised money. Then somebody came and saw what we were doing, matched the funds, and we ended up getting enough money to do it. But they have one more job. When you go, you'll see. And the worst part was that county road.
Yes.
We actually got them to throw in the stuff to make that road good, so you didn't kill your car.
I love it.
So, but the top now, when you park up at the top and they have a stairway you come down.
Right.
When I was there for the ribbon cutting, I thought this is an accident ready to happen.
Right.
So I called South Up and said, find out how much it's going to cost to put a railing there. So I'm on a mission to get that done. I have 500 of the 750 already.
Oh.
So that's what I'm saying. One person, I didn't do it. I just started.
Well, wait a minute. I have a pothole that's right near my house. Would you mind?
Actually, it's not a pothole. What
is it?
happened,
It's like
the
a
city
thing.
came and they dumped a truckload of asphalt, but they never rolled it out. So if you don't know it...
I do know. Who is it just said, any place... I'll send you the name.
Okay.
Any place you see, they're not the city, but they come and they'll pave it for you.
really?
Okay, it's all paved. What they have to do is cut out
and
the part
they'll do
that's...
that.
You
I'll send
see?
you the name.
We
I
see
love
cars taking flight
Yeah,
because they don't know
literally.
it's there.
Yeah, but see, I love stuff. Another thing that just happened, and I just love stuff like that because it just brings me so much joy. I'm always trying to support my members, and one of my members' daughter was going to be a queen in something. So we went to this Archie Balls to help support it. And while I was there, another woman come running up. She said, you're Robbie Motter, you write for the Menifee Buzz. She said, I just love your stories because I get to meet women that I never would meet. Well, the waitress heard her say that, and the waitress came up to me, Laura, and she said, oh my God, I've been wanting to meet somebody that writes. She said, I just wrote an essay that I would love for you to read about my life. So she does that. I find out in elementary school, first off, she was the first young woman this year to win a Pell Scholarship in Hemet. She's just graduated. She found out that not only was she eligible for community college, but she can go to Cal State San Bernardino, but she needed a little bit more money. She told me her story. When she was in elementary, she moved 14 times. Her mother was in prison. She moved 3 times in high school, yet she maintained straight A's. She said, I'm the kind of person when someone in my family's in the hospital, I'm there and I still keep straight A's. Her positive. She said, a teacher once told me the way out of poverty is education.
Ooh,
and she said, when I was in
fabulous.
school, I was bullied because I was too thin. She said, my father never said learn a lot. He said, I hope you had enough to eat today. I just loved your spirit.
Wow.
So I went home, and it was midnight. I wrote the story to put it in the
Right.
paper. Meanwhile, I sent it to two of my friends. One of them that was with the Menifee Lions, thinking maybe the Lions would do something.
Yes.
And the other one is a gal that does scholarships. The next day, the gal from the Lions called me. She said, Robbie, Southwest Riverside County is giving a $1,000 scholarship.
Oh.
The realtor board.
Wow.
But she said, I think they've chosen somebody, but let me see. She goes, they decide to give it to her, and she gets
Fabulous.
$1,000.
Now, you have to tell me, because I know this is all encompassed, your National Association Female Executives.
Right, that's NAFI.
That's NAFI.
And then I started a 501.
The other one.
It's
And what
Global
is-
Society Female
Will you
Entrepreneur.
tell our lovely people
Well,
out there?
the reason that I did that is I used to do all the conferences under NAFI, but somehow NAFI's 48 years old, and I've been with them 27 years as the global coordinator, and I do it as a volunteer job, and I interact with all the NAFI networks across the country. But I found it hard to get money for grants and in-kind donations for the conference. So I formed, one of my members is an expert in nonprofits, so we formed a nonprofit called the Global Society Female Entrepreneurs.
Yes.
So we will be doing all the training and education under that. And the idea behind that is we want to mentor women, and, you know, as we make money, we'll be able to, let women come that don't. It's not about the money. It's about learning.
Is that
So-
women of all ages,
all
Robin?
ages,
Okay, I just wanted to get
all
that out there.
ages and all ethnic groups, because you know it's up to you where you go. You can fly like an eagle and be the best in the world, but you got to want to do it.
That's right. Yeah, well, like you say, you got to climb that ladder first, step by step. I tell people, you just don't run up a ladder, because that doesn't happen. That's not natural. But when you take it step by step to get to your goal up there, and you have to keep that in sight, you make it.
That's
You
why you
do.
need vision boards.
Yes. Oh, tell us, what is a vision board, really?
A vision board is like a dream board.
Okay.
And it was interesting. One of my friends does Operation Prom Girl, where they bring in 100 girls every year and give them free prom dresses. So she asked me this year to do the vision board class for them, which I did. I brought all the stuff. NAFI donated it all. And it was interesting to me, because like when I was that age, I was into, what am I going to do in my career? They all loved doing the board, and they
Right.
wrote it up. That was the most fun thing. But do you know that one of them, because what I did is everybody did it, and then I'd have one from each table stand up and tell us
Right.
what the board meant. Not one of them did anything on career. You know what it was? Marriage
Interesting.
and travel.
Wow.
I was really surprised.
Really?
Because everything in my board it's amazing. One funny story is, well, I've many, but one of them was I saw this gorgeous red gown that I liked, and I don't know why, I just threw it on my board with my face on it.
Oh, I love
And then what happened, I get a call that I'd been nominated for the Lady in Red Diamond Rose Award
Yes.
for the Multicultural Motion Picture. And I was actually won the entrepreneur, and we were supposed to get it that year, but he died. Remember the
Yes, yeah.
So we got it the next year. And you know what? I was so excited because there are 24 women I can nominate this year because I'm now on their board.
Oh, really? I love it. I love it. But now you were saying that for your global, it's women of all ages. It's like women who definitely they've graduated from high school, right? I mean, most of them.
Well, you know something? If somebody, I don't think there's any age. 'Cause
Okay.
I think if somebody's in high school and really wants to, like that young girl that just won the
Right.
scholarship.
Okay.
I just love her attitude. She would kind of I guess maybe why she reminded of me and my
Yeah, I was
determination.
gonna say, yes, I was going to say.
Yeah,
that,
but
right.
and you know, it was so funny. Oh, and then the owner, the guy that's the marketing director, I was in then a couple days later, and I said, "Oh, you have this wonderful girl working for you," and I still had the story on my phone. I said, "I just wrote a story." He said, "I have to see it." I said, "It hasn't been published yet. the editor can change things, so I got to see it." And then he told me, he said, "You know, she's the only girl I ever hired with no experience."
Wow.
So he read the story and he called her. He said, "Oh, this has got to go on all the Archibald websites, you know, their
Right.
social media."
Yeah.
And he called her over and he said, "Laura, why didn't you tell me this when I interviewed you?" She said, "Because I wanted you to hire me for me,
Wow.
not where I've been. I know
Wow.
where I'm going. I'm going to be a big success." And
she will.
and she came and hugged all of us because of my friend. And in fact, the day she got the award, my friend said, "Why don't you come with me?" I said, "No, I wrote the story, but you're the one that got her the money. You need to be there with her."
Now you write for the Menifee
Buzz, Menifee and Marietta Buzz.
And how long have you been doing that?
I've probably been doing it for 4 or 5 years.
And on network.
But you know what? I love it. He never tells me who I have to write for.
Oh, good. Okay.
I pick who I want to write for.
And you just write any.
Sometimes I just meet somebody. Good example. One day we were serving food for the seniors, and I had to go through this carport, and this guy was doing all these airplanes. He was a son-in-law.
Right.
And I said, "Do you sell these?" He says, "No. I was in World War II, and I want my kids to know about it."
Oh, wow.
And he says they're taking it out of books.
Wow.
So I did a story on him.
I think that is. Great. Now, you have the September 21st.
It's September 30th.
Yeah, right. And then you also have October 20th.
And that's called Sword of Greatness.
Yes.
And that's where you're one of our keynotes.
I am so excited. Now, tell me about that.
It's a day of bringing fabulous women together. We have 2 keynotes, and the other gal is actually Be Your Own Star. You two are going to, I don't know if you know her, but
no, I don't.
She's amazing. She's somebody you need to know.
Right.
And then we have breakouts with different topics. So they'll each get to pick 3 breakouts.
Oh, okay.
During the day.
And I know some of the people that are in the breakouts.
Yeah.
Kathleen Ronald.
Yeah.
Who's going to be on the show today, I think. Later on.
Yeah, she's a long time friend.
Right, and I mean, what you're doing, Robbie, is so empowering. And I use that word empower not just because it's a great word, I love the word, but it's so true. Because someone like myself, I just had high school education, always wanted to go to college. But in those days, I graduated at 16 and a half, and my grandmother looked at me and said, "So, what are we doing?" I said, "Well, I thought I'd maybe go to teachers, Salem Teachers College." And she looked at me, she said, "Get a man, Jackie. Get married. I want great-grand." I mean, so that was the thought in those days. Whoever thought of doing what you're doing now or what I'm doing? That was just not there.
But I had some MBA graduates that worked for me in New York, and if it wasn't in a book, they didn't know it. One of them went on and did great things in New York. He recently wrote me a note, and he said, "Robbie, you were the best mentor I ever had in my whole career."
Wow. Now, you're also writing a book. Could you tell us about that?
Well, you inspired me to get this book finished. I've been I've been in 11 books. I haven't written one of my own because my passion is helping others. So the book that I've been trying to do for a couple of years is called It's All About Showing Up and the Powers in the Asking. And what I want...
Say that one again. I love it.
It's all about showing up and the powers in the asking. Because it is in the asking.
Great.
And what I want to do, it's still not going to be written all by me, but I want women to send me a chapter of 2,500 words, including their contact at the bottom, of where they might have showed up that changed their life, or where they asked and it opened doors that they could never imagine. Because then this book will be a lesson to other women out there who think they're the only ones going through it.
Mm-hmm. That is really true.
And so this is what I said to them. You always have told me, I've been trying to do this. You all think it's a wonderful idea, but I'm telling you right now, it's going to print in December, and it's going to be out January 1st. So if you don't get your stuff in, you're not going to be in it.
It ain't going to happen, right?
I said, the Pink Lady's got her book out, and I got to get this book out.
I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you got to send me your chapter.
Oh, I will. Thank you. How does your family feel about what you do?
Well, I think one of the sad things is they think I'm Superwoman, so they don't think I ever need any, and I really don't. But sometimes it isn't what I thought it would be like when you're a grandma. I thought they come to grandma's house once a month,
right? Because
I love to cook. If I cook for a lot of people, it's interesting because I never cook at home. But
What do you
I have
like
18
to cook?
Sets of dishes.
I love it. Like, what do you like to cook? I mean, what's your favorite thing?
My favorite is a pot roast I do with potatoes.
Ooh.
I just did one for our new mayor and his wife, and they loved it. But the reason I have so many sets of dishes is we do a big tea for the women's club. And none of the older women want to bring dishes. So I went on. So I can do all the tables and have them beautiful and have a magnificent tea. And this year we're going to do breakfast. We're going to do, because we do it now at lunch. This was a special event. We're going to do brunch at Tiffany's.
Oh, I like that. When is that going to be?
I think we're doing it in March.
Oh, great. That's really, I like that.
But, you know, you have to lug all the dishes, and I have all the table. So whenever people want to buy our tablecloths or overlays or chair covers, they come to me. I have a lot of pink.
I love it. Robbie, you say that when you were young, like in foster homes, do you think that growing up, that part of your past, did what people, how do I say this? You took the hardships of survival and you turned it around and you made ice cream about your life. But you also kept a fabulous personality, an outgoing aura about you that people want to go to you. And I think that, because of your past, maybe had something to do with it, but you yourself had to have that in you.
Well, you know what's interesting? I have no memories of my past. I remember when I was 4, I spent a little bit of time with my mother, and she locked me in a closet to go dancing. And that's why I can't be locked in, and I have to have light all around me. But I don't remember. The last home I remember was one I was in Stockton, California, and I remember it was a children's home. This one was a children's home, and I would go out at night and sit on the porch, and there was a waterfall. And I would play music, and I'd say, someday I'm going to grow up and live happily ever after. Oh. But I don't remember. The only other memory I have, I remember when I was little, I had a German Shepherd named Sandy, and I must have always been an adventurer, because Sandy used to get me by my diaper and pull me back so I didn't cross the street.
I love it.
And then I remember my first Holy Communion, and I also remember graduating 6th grade, that I was the only person with nobody there. But other than that, I know I never had any toys, and I think that's why I like to decorate. But I don't think I had a bad life.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't think so either. You're right. You're right. The way
I think my mother, 14 girls, I think my mother thought when she was putting me in those homes that she was trying to give me a home, a man and woman. Right. But I don't remember any of them. I know I was never abused, but I don't remember any of them. No, it's okay.
Yeah. Well, I think
the past has nothing to do with your future.
No. I can remember doing an interfaith Passover Seder at the Maryvale Catholic Orphanage, and talking to the kids, and I said, before we start, do you know why you're here today? What are we going to do here? And these are all kids that pretty well did not succeed in other programs. Right. This was the last resort. And I said, you're here because we're going to talk about from slavery to freedom. Mm-hmm. And what you do with your life when you leave here, that's going to be your freedom.
That's right.
And we went through the whole story of the Exodus, but I wanted them to leave with a lesson. And when it was over, I was amazed at the kind of response we got.
It used to be, they used to have this program up in Sacramento, and I would go, well, they actually did it here in LA, and I went to the inner city one time, and I remember had a suit on and a hat, and it was a pregnant teen high school.
Oh, wow.
And I could feel, because I'm very intuitive, they're saying, what does this woman know about being?
There you go. Right.
And so I said, you're wondering why I'm here, that I've never experienced. But there were 2 young women there, and I still cherish the card they wrote me. One of them was living in the projects, and she had a little girl, and she wanted to go in nursing. And the other one wanted to write poetry. I said, get that book, I'll get it published, which I did. The other girl wrote me a note, and I told her, get out of that, get out. And whenever you have negative people come, you do this. And when they say, what are you doing? You say, I'm putting a wall in front. I do not let negative penetrate in my body. And she wrote me a note. She got out of there. She went to nursing school, and she's now a nurse.
I love it.
Congratulations.
Yeah, really, Robbie. What encouragement would you give the women out there who are looking at themselves in the mirror and saying, I don't know whether I can do this or not?
I would say write notes on your bathroom wall, how wonderful you are. Every day, look at them. If you have negative people telling you it's impossible, remember, nothing's impossible. And maybe today it won't work, but tomorrow it could. And people just give up too soon. Today, something may not happen. A week later, it may be the most perfect idea in the world. So if it's your idea and your passion, go for it. Do not let anybody, no one, family, nobody stand in your way.
Yeah, see, I tell people, the first thing I get when I do some seminars about get up, get out, get a life, someone will come over to me and say, I want to do this, but, say they've been through it all and say they got a divorce or whatever, or someone died. they said, my kids say, Mom, you can sit and you can relax now, but I want to get out. I want to do something. And it's sometimes the family who holds them back. And I say, don't let anyone hold you back. I mean, did your family ever try to hold you back?
No.
No. I don't think they could.
It's like that movie. If you saw the movie, The Book Club, remember the two girls who were trying to... That's the story. You just say, I helped you have your life. Now let me have mine.
There it is. There it is.
Right.
Well, I have to tell you, Robbie, you are a definite delight to have. I mean, to me, when you say something, I listen. But you don't say it down to anybody. That's another thing I wanted to tell everybody in our audience, that when Robbie says something to all of us, and I've been there when you've given speeches, you don't talk down to anybody. You talk literally almost up to them by telling them what they can do in a positive way, but in an encouraging way, not like you're dictating anything.
No.
And that feeling that you have of empowerment, I think you're going to have it forever, forever. If you had a wish right now, what would you wish for your next step? Besides your book, what would you want to do, Robbie?
To reach out and find more women that I can help to empower and mentor and help them go for their dreams and to connect them with the people they want to meet in the world.
I love it. September 30th. Tell them again where it is.
It's called Extravaganza 4, and it's at the Webb Hall in Sun City, California, at the Civic Center. The tickets are only $15, and it's an afternoon. We have one of the former lead singers with the Platters. We have the Prince of Palm Springs performing. We have amazing talent. So you just need to show up. But no tickets will be at the door. You need to call me and get the ticket ahead of time, because I'll be sold out. I'm going to be sold out in a week, and you can see
How does someone reach you, though?
They can call me at 951-255-9200 or email rmotter@aol.com.
Let's do it once more. Here's the number, everybody.
951-255-9200 or R and then MOTTER@AOL.com. Also, if you have a dream, you can call me. I'm always interested in talking to women anywhere, anytime.
And that also goes for October 20th. If you want to come, I would love to see you in the audience and say that you saw Robbie and I on our show. What are you saying, Chaplain?
I was going to say, and if they didn't have a pencil handy with the information, if they go on to the website as they came to this program, they will see an email for Pink Lady, and we will forward any mail to any guest for you.
And I think the flyers are going to be on. Did you tell me the flyers?
We did, yes.
Right.
So they'll be able to see the flyers with your picture.
Yes. I am so proud to have had you here with me today. You have no idea. I definitely think that you're a mentor. I'm much, shall we say, older. I never say that, but it's true.
Not that
older
much.
than you. Well, it's there.
I'm 82, so I'm looking forward to doing
82 years young, and I'll be 86 in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Actually, 2 weeks from today.
Yes.
Yeah, hello, 86. Okay, now, you know what? It's just the beginning. It doesn't matter.
It's only a number, and our numbers are unlisted.
Well, I don't know about unlisted, but that's okay. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching us on Pink Lady Presents It Ain't Over Till You Say It's Over. God bless all of you. See you next time. God bless you, Robbie.
God bless you, too.
Thank you.
You're listening to Pink Lady Presents, only on LA Talk Radio.